Bella Macy Lynn, aka Bella Lynn. I am a model, a cosplayer, a really awkward person who is in the middle of discovering herself. And that's great and crazy and scary and wonderful, and I'm really hoping that you'll want to join me on my journey. So I have been wanting to make a YouTube channel for a while and I never knew how to do it. And I've got camera equipment because I love taking photos and I love being creative. I just don't know in what direction my creativity is going to go. And sometimes I feel a little crazy because I'm so unsure and I'm filled with so much doubt. And this is the journey that you get to be a part of. And maybe you don't want to be, but you don't have to subscribe and you don't have to follow. Things that you can look forward to on my channel would be fashion, because I am an enigma and I'm trying to figure that out. I think I'm somewhere in between like librarian meets schoolgirl meets forest witch, like an earthy one, sort of like the brown one in the Lord of the Rings. I just offended someone. Sort of like the brown wizard in the Lord of the Rings. He was pretty cool, but that's kind of what my wardrobe looks like. It's a mosh posh of everything. Modge podge? It's a modge podge of everything. Oh my gosh, guys, you have to see this crazy rabbit that I saw outside. Okay guys, I've got this random rabbit that just chills out in my backyard. He is the cutest. I haven't given him a name yet, but he lives in that tree right there. And it makes me very happy that he lives there. And yeah, that's my rabbit that lives in the yard. He's pretty great. This is just an introductory video. However, I told people to ask me a bunch of questions and then they can answer them. Well, they can't. So before I made this video, I asked people to do a Q&A. And I thought that that would be a lot of fun so that you get to know me and people on my other social media platforms can feel included in my video. Sorry, the rabbit's like stretching, doing like a downward dog thing. That's such a good rabbit. So, questions. Scariest thing that you want to do on your bucket list. Okay, so I know it's super cliche, but I really want to try doing some form of height task. Like bungee jumping or doing a really, really long zip line or skydiving. That's on my bucket list and it is terrifying. I can do a lot of things, but heights, unless I'm in a tree, because trees are fantastic, heights freak me out. I just can't do that. But it's on my bucket list. That's something I'm challenging myself with. Number 2, what do you love about Edmonton? It has work for me to do. It's not a very pretty city, but that's okay. It's got a lot of festivals, and they're really pretty, and the layout sucks, and there's like no sidewalks for people who walk, but that's okay, I think. I hate that question. How do you like to treat yourself in stressful times? So when I'm really stressed out, usually I just get a big old sippy cup. And yes, I mean legitimate sippy cup. Like I go upstairs and I take the sippy cup that I have for my 3-year-old niece and I fill it with wine and I sit in the bath with like a Lush bath bomb, or I get the sage little fragrance things and I just sit there and I love it. I sit there and I drink and I read one of my poetry books and it's better than therapy. So that's one way. Another way is I just do like a really intense facial cleanse where I'll get all of my stuff, do the whole thing, face mask, everything. I just feel so good. Sorry, there's a lot of them. Biggest fear in my childhood. My biggest fear has always been being completely and utterly alone, which is scary, but oddly enough, this year I've had a lot of thoughts of wanting to just be alone. Maybe that's something that I grew out of, maybe not, because it's still a terrifying thought, But sometimes, because I'm an introvert, I just want to move away from everything and everyone and just live all by myself. I don't want to deal with work. I don't want to deal with people. I just want to be all by myself. And then I realized I'd probably die and be gross, and so that was my biggest fear as a child. I was a pretty fearless kid. Like, I climbed trees. Being alone kind of sucked though. My parents actually had to put a latch lock on my door up at the top because I would constantly sneak out and across the street to go and cuddle my grandma. And it got to the point where she was so terrified to lock her door at night because she thought that one night she wouldn't wake up to me calling at her. So my parents put a lock on my door because I was afraid of sleeping alone. But that's another issue. What kind of food do you enjoy making/eating? I really like making stir fries. And the reason I really like making stir fries is because you just get to create something. You don't have to follow a recipe. As soon as you kind of know how to throw spices and vegetables into a pot, you're set. You could add like extra water if you wanted to have like some juice to put over your rice or noodles, and you can add less if you want it to be like a dry kind of stir fry, and you can add more liquid and cornstarch if you want it to be like a thick syrup. I know that's probably not how you're supposed to do it, but I love experimenting with all the different vegetables and spices and consistencies of a stir fry. Literally my favorite. Love it. Thank you. If you could replace the handshake as a greeting, what new interesting greeting would you? I'm guessing you just want me to describe my perfect greeting. I think that bowing is great because I don't like the idea of touching somebody's hands because hands are dry and have germs on them and then they're all over your hands. Maybe it's not as weird as I think. I just can't do it. So I like bowing because it shows like great respect. Respect the fact that you could cut my head off, you're not going to, and you don't have to touch each other. I think that it's more formal and more wonderful than that. You were probably looking for a goofy one, so I think pinky promises are great. So I just do like the little hook your pinkies, and that'd be my handshake. What period in history had the best fashion? So cliche. I'm gonna sound like an idiot. I really liked the 30s so much. And like the tight corsets with the big bum, like a lot. I'm obsessed with all of it. Like, it's beautiful, the long skirts and the cute little simple patterns. I love that time period as well. However, dirty 30s, not exactly everybody's favorite thing. I would definitely say 20s, 30s, because once you get into the 40s, it's kind of more pinup style, and I don't think I'm a pinup person. I'm definitely just like vintage, I think. Modeling inspirations. My inspirations for modeling started with Miss Dudley Red. She does a lot of pinup, corsets, big things with like giant hair. So pretty, and I just love everything that she does. She inspired me to do more, but I think currently I have 2 fashion/model icons, but my favorite people on Instagram right now, 100%, Wild Northern and Up Close Horse are brilliant. I can't get enough. I look at their pages every day. Holy crow, they are incredible. I love their style. They are just perfect. I don't know. But they're Instagram models. The 2 of them combined are honestly me incarnate. And that might sound really creepy, but they inspire me. My wardrobe, they inspire my life. They inspire me to be more honest and true to myself. I love them. They're incredible. Yeah, Miss Dudley Red was definitely the person who got me more into my current modeling choices, and then they are currently inspiring me every day, and I love it. And them. Not to be creepy. That's not creepy, is it? Next question. Pepsi or cola? I don't drink pop. I don't like sugar. I really don't eat it unless somebody offers it to me. So neither. But when I was a kid, I really liked Pepsi because I thought it tasted better. And when I had it in the car one time, it was flat, and when I drank it, I was like, this tastes like Coca-Cola. So I don't know. I think they're just really similar in taste, but that also might be an unpopular opinion. However, again, I haven't drank any pop in so long. What's life like as a model? So as a model, I don't feel like a model. It's this experience where I don't feel like I am one, even though I do it almost every second out of my work life. As a model, I think the worst thing is when you get unsolicited pictures from people and you just are like, why? I don't understand. I really don't get it. I don't understand why some men feel so compelled to show themselves off to you. You know how I'm gonna respond. So obviously they're doing it for something that I don't understand, but I hate it because I'm like, I just 100% block them. And it's the worst when it's someone that I've been talking to for like a week, because I always like to try and respond to my messages. I've been talking to them and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and I'm like, dude, now I have to block you. That's the worst part. And the best part is getting to work with designers and photographers and making art and just being super creative and trying really hard to come up with concepts, and it's just wonderful. And you get to see yourself in a billion different atmospheres and a billion different like moods. I can't explain it, but I feel like I've already lived a bunch of lives just through modeling, and now I just gotta figure out which one's for me. My life. Not the one that I get to project in photos, but the one that's actually me. Being a model can be tricky and gross and wonderful all at the same time. Would you rather live in a $10 million mansion in Hollywood or a $100,000 cabin in the woods? I 100% would say that I would like to live in a very, very nice cabin in the woods, as I already expressed in this video. Because I was a Boy Scout growing up. Fun fact. I know how to do it. I like being alone, and I think some peace and quiet and solitude would actually be wonderful. So, did you ever imagine you would be where you are now in life from 10 years ago? What are some positives and negatives you went through, and how has that affected you now and in the future? 10 years ago, I probably would have been about 12. I don't think that this was in my life plan. I wanted to get married like right out of high school. I wanted to meet the love of my life. I wanted to have babies by now. I had no idea that it was going to look like this. And being a model on top of it all, plus working in a machine shop while modeling, not a chance. Needless to say, I don't think 12-year-old me saw this coming. Some rough bits that I went through was moving across the country. So I moved from Ontario to Alberta when I was 12. And that was extremely difficult for me. But I persevered and I made friends and I figured out my VPD, which of course was really hard. I had a lot of mood swings and I just chalked it up to, well, you're a girl. So that's how it is. Girls have mood swings. You're not crazy. It's just being a girl. But it turns out it wasn't just being a girl, which is another topic. I made it and I'm here now and I'm not married and I don't have kids, and that's okay, even though my 12-year-old self would actually be screaming and crying if I ever told her that this is my life. But it's not a bad thing. I think that life brings you where you need to be. It's just a fact. And how this will affect my future, I don't really get that. I don't think that being a married woman with children is what I would want now. I'm learning my limitations and I'm learning where I need to be and what I need to do to get to where I want to be. And I think if I had gotten married and had kids, I would have felt really lost and confused and guilty and unsure of what I needed to do to get out of it, or if I even wanted out of it. So I think I'm really happy with where I am. I'm happier now. Maybe that's just where I am now, and my 12-year-old self would have had something completely different to say. I'm happy. I'm really happy. Thank you. Advice for people just starting in the industry. I'm guessing that you mean modeling. My advice is it's okay to say no. It's okay to not want to do a concept that a photographer wants to do, but you're worried that if you don't do it, you're not going to get a job, or they're not going to want to work with you, or they're going to tell all their photographer friends that you didn't want to do their concept. There will be opportunities in whatever you want to do. And there will be people saying, don't take off your clothes. There will be people saying, you have to take off your clothes. There will be people who don't support whatever you're choosing to do. But just so you know, there is always someone willing to do the thing that you are envisioning in your head. There will always be opportunities for exactly what you want to create. So if you don't want to do something, don't just do it because you're afraid you're not going to get started unless you do. And if you can't find someone, it is worth it to pay someone to do the concept that you have in your head so that you have a portfolio. Because doing things for free is not going to be easy all the time. So stick to your morals, stick to your art, and if something happens where it fluidly changes into another thing that you never thought you'd ever do, don't feel guilty. You didn't ruin your idea if it came to you naturally. I think that's all my questions. I don't have any more, and I hope that this video is okay. So yeah, lots about minimalism, lots about my fashion, lots about self-discovery, because that's my thing, is trying to figure out where I fit in my crazy head. I hope some of you subscribe, and I look forward to making more videos. It's almost Thanksgiving, so I'll be making a Thanksgiving video probably right away here. And yeah, nice to meet you. I'm Bella Lynn.